So, if I were to turn, you would be able to see me front and me back. A little bit of it at least. It's Laura J, early on Sunday, and I am reflecting on the insanity that we have been the creators who forgot that we are not here to listen to authority tell we what we can do. What? Don't we get to choose? Isn't free will a fundamental component of being alive? A live one, a live wire? Well, hey, you can be for hire. But you must ultimately always be on hire. To the divine, be the waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness for others, regardless of whether you buy the bull or don't. I'm sorry for those who are offended. I know I do it quite easily, but there was a little video that I quite liked on Instagram that said, I'm sorry if I offended some of you. I meant to offend all of y'all. And then she drinks some coffee or like cheers to herself. It was kind of funny. But it is a cruel reality when that is how you approach life. When you just want to not be nice to someone you can steal power from, I say get a life. Just take your own, seize the bull by the horns and just like actually live yours instead of trying to like steal from others, you know? We've all got more than enough if we know how to actually activate the field within us. If you want to know more about this, comment down below and let me know. And make sure you're following me on YouTube under Laura J.E. Hamilton, as well as you can go to my website, ljeh.ca. So, I can't wait to come to you again very soon, now that I've got the do in working order. Just like a machine, isn't that what we've all been turned into, converted? Converted into is what we have been. Would you say, if I got this out of the way, it'd still be a toilet, more obviously. And then I prune it up and take out what is now dead, and by doing so, the plant can focus on where it needs to go. Oh, I find I spend more time cleaning outside and inside too now. And I say it's okay, I try to be the one I'd want to be remembered, as if I were no longer able to be here. It is true, life is a prize, and so we must actually not deny that we are all here to leave this place better. Not for anyone other than our souls and others who will be made whole for our collecting more of our soul. That's what I've been doing while maneuvering the legal system this past year and a half. Since April 2021 was when I was issued a summons, and because I got to learn how to stand for myself and claim the right to not be made a surety for my person, nor recognize it as the same as what I am, which is real. It is not. And I'm not bound to what rules would be applied to it that would hide the fact that I could trump the vote. If I claim the right to make a superior claim and make any man or woman making a counterclaim have to take off their suits and make it as the man or woman who's causing me harm, loss, or fraud, you can fuck right off if you think you're going to tell me how to live my life. I'm sorry, I can do it better be, 'cause I'm the one who lives with the consequences of it too. Ooh, ooh. Perfect. What do you think? What do you think? If I turned this upwards, then you'd get a better chance to see it more. And I could just turn it a little sideways and lift these for support. What do you say? What do you say? What do you say? What do you say? Ooh, what do you say? What do you say? What do you say? What do you say? You don't wanna stay where you are today. Why would you, I say? Hey, maybe. Would you be happy like that? No. Okay. Well then, let me get some tape. Is that necessary? No. Okay. Let's just do that then. How's that? Woo! What do you think? I think my plant is happier, or it will be. I messed it right up. But because I did it once before, I did it a lot easier and faster this time, right? Wow. So that's how she's done. And I am excited to have some fun throughout my day. Tonight is the Special Practice Pilot Program. I'm going to be announcing a Christmas version or a Christ Mass version. No religions as the foundation, but certainly a strong foundation in the linguistics of language. I am your English major, and I am going to lead you through a few dictions to get the convictions or the viction to do that which you see the desire or need to do. Lights off here, and the transportation outwards begins. Quieter, because my papa's sleeping. And if my papa's sleeping, then I want to be respectful. Oh, there's my coffee. I never picked it up. That's why I was jonesing for it, they say. Well, let me Jones away and see if it was worth it. I don't know who Jones are. I don't know any Jones. Oh, I do, but I can't think of any at the top of my head. They're not in my inner circle. So why do we try to keep up with the Joneses? If we don't even have any Joneses we know that we respect. Not that I don't respect Joneses, let me be clear. I'm just not consciously aware. I don't have any reason to disrespect any Joneses either. But as my cup says, and within reach of each hand, love is a fruit in season at all times. The messages you fill your environment with matter. This one says, neither height nor depth, neither height nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus our Lord, Romans 8:39. And then I say, what if Christ Jesus was actually the I am in me that was anointed when he took the I out of we and made it a me. I know, that was a good one. That was a great rhyme. I think it's about time to see that Jesus was the I am in me, because then we removed the I and made it just Jesus instead of je suis. I am in French. Can't we see that if we idolize him and say that he is out there, we don't look inward to the guru within? That's a sin now, because Don Miguel Ruiz says sin is to speak ill of ourselves or anyone else. It's true. So then I ask you, will you try not to sin today by not being unkind to yourself? Be kind and make others be kind to themselves too, because if we all do that, there will be fewer bullies in the mix. And even I falter there, because there are some that only think they're powerful because of their ability to steal life from others, and I don't think it's okay, so I'm going to say another day we'll talk more, but for now I'm gonna write my blog for today. Sign up for my blog, ljeh.ca. You can sign up for emails. Then you'll be able to get in on this special practice pilot Christ Mass special. So I'm looking forward, the Christ Mass Special Practice Pilot Program. So we're going to be talking a lot about self-care. We're going to be talking about multidimensionality. We're going to be talking about responsible authorship of a life you love living. Yes. We're going to do it in, I think, 4 weeks. So starting in November, ending in December, you're going to want to get yourself in the room. I'm thinking about making it by donation, so that you have an opportunity to contribute to Peaceful Inner Warriors United. And then we can put that towards some upcoming events that we could be hosting. I had an idea for a Christmas card making workshop too, because I've got a whole bunch of free cards in the mail. Well, like my grandma had a whole bunch, and I kind of just have inherited those because nobody else really wants those. So I am using, and if anybody else would like those, then please make your claims, and then I can put out a message. This is literally the craziness of it all. What I learned by dealing with the summons from my person, for my person, which I am not, and I don't agree to be the surety for, which means I'm not going to get my person where it's supposed to go when I don't believe that I am the woman that is in my private capacity with all rights reserved, who has claimed the right to lawfully self-govern, then going to be drawn into the public and literally caricatured because you can't draw what is real in court because it's not real, it's non-fiction. What the fuck? Why not just call it real? Why don't we just get real about things? Just get back to the full truth, because half-lies are full truths in the end anyway, or at least significant enough to feel like full betrayals. And that's just, the experience of betrayal is unfortunate, and I'm sorry to all of us who have went through it. But, you know, in the scheme of things, you learn so much so fucking fast. It's fantastic. It's fantastic, wouldn't you say? I'd say it's time for you to go about your day. I send you love, and I wish you all of your desires. I hope you hire the support you need to bring about that which you no doubt change nothing, you are enough. I tell you it is true. This angle would do better, maybe. My computer is not liking the command that I have asked it to do because it's low on battery. It's back on. And it's now plugged in. And I even have Doigo's fairy lights. Thank you, my love. So fucking awesome. I love it. Absolutely love it. And then that little whiteboard is full of what I'm going to be offering as an English teacher. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's going to be high-level concepts for English speakers and non-English speakers. Because why not learn together and unite the worlds through the language that we break down to see at a deeper level. I love it. So now that I've had at least one purr for this morning already, I'll send you off on your way and simply ask you to say something down below to let me know what this message has meant to you, what it's meant for you, and what you're going to do with it, as I always ask you to do. I feel like Mrs. Doubtfire, except there is no doubt about my fire, and I ain't no missus, for that'd be a status I don't accept. But cheers to Robin Williams, who played her. Interesting, right? Well, why don't we just agree to be the most outlandish version of we that we could be, and love ourselves and one another through the process without trying to cause harm, loss, or fraud to any other man or woman. And if we find that someone else is partaking in fraud, well, then we remind them that they have a conscience, which is what is being tested right now, because the con is not just for science. Conscience. The con is also for your consciousness and your confidence. It's why the convictions convert the callings to make them the con for your consciousness, to say you must follow our rules and you must do it our way because it is our system that is going to fuck you in the ass. I'm sorry to be so cruel and I can't even think of the vulgar. Yeah, I know it totally was, but seriously, those are the kind of things that, like, that's serious harm and, like, leads to bad places. And so it's just like, no, we are frickin' gateways, people. Like, don't we see this? Don't we see that our body as women, particularly, where we literally birth worlds into being, like, don't we see how magic we actually are? And then we get so offended by the surface things like the languaging, which language, much worse has been spoke to you. It just wasn't in the form that you would recognize. And so then you said, oh, no problem, I don't mind at all. And they're like, all right, just follow us. And it's just like, then you walk in and then you like get faced with the beast and you're like, what? And it's like, I had no idea this is what I was agreeing to. Informed consent is a big thing. Like, you should really evoke that right then in that moment. But we just went onto a really dirty path, pun intended, given the subject nature or subject matter and nature of the conversation. But now that it's like 8:23 and I've offended half of the world, I'll do that little meme and say, cheers, I meant to offend all of you. Not actually, I didn't mean to offend any of you, but if I did, recognize I am a mirror that is reflecting you back to you. So if you're choosing to be offended by what's in view right now, after 19 minutes of your life being invested watching someone you didn't enjoy, why would you put yourself through that? And secondly, why wouldn't you love being just like love bombed? Unless you had areas of shadow that were being hit by those love bombs that you were being activated and triggered by and you didn't know what to do with and it was making you uncomfortable. So the easiest way that you could protect yourself was to throw the one that was loving up on you out. Pew, like garbage, like the maid service that they've created that is not okay. And I'm right here on October 16th at 8:24 a.m. It's a Sunday morning. I am putting every single man and woman involved in the maid service offered by the government to clean up souls on notice right now in your private capacity. I want names and I will be taking them because this is serious. You are literally accruing karma by doing so. For every man and woman that you pass off to another man or woman to get injected with death solution, you are creating a soul tie with that soul that is departing. And their soul is going to come back to a reality where they didn't do what they came here to do because you took them out early. Like they were garbage. A maid fucking service? Government officials, really? Come on. This is the most I've F-bombed in a message, and I love that it's the one that I'm actually going to make sure that the ones that are doing that are aware is alive, and just like I am at this time. And, in this game, when I woke up, I had the realization how easy it was to be taken out of the game if you didn't play by the rules, comply. And then also how your family are used against you. And then when I got locked up under the Mental Health Act, I saw how the tribe is turned against the individual, made to lie, and then to cover those lies. And it's just insane. Anyone that is bullying, coercing, colluding, committing barratry against a fellow man or woman, because you are involved in a play that they are not familiar with, and so then you can speak on their behalf and say, should have known better. The law is a very tricky deal. It seriously pisses me off, as you can tell. I might be a little passionate when I'm excited, and I'm definitely excited, and it's the 22nd minute, and I'm about to wrap up, and I'm also going to remind you that I did, with Jared Wade, album22.com and album22 plus, which was added to album22.com, which is the number 22 with an album and a .com, because he's madhattermusic.org. So you got the org of the organization that he is moving to put all of this under. But ultimately I hosted meetings and just facilitated discussion and made it exciting with the meetings we did bi-weekly for the first December till June of the first project. And then we actually did it, and again, the second project was totally different. The third project needs to be totally different too. So I'm making new requirements, and we're going to do it as Inner Kingdom rescue missions. And we're actually going to make it so that if you would like to be an artist that goes on a journey of transformation on the inner, your commitment to actually creating a song in memory of the program that you'll be experiencing is your payment and also the gift that you give us with a review. I'd like to make it so that it teams up with my book, Fully Committed, which is available even in chapters indigo. Finally, that's coming through, which is super exciting. But we do book medicine sometimes. So I flipped to page 160, for instance, and I said, it says, earlier I mentioned The Matrix is a documentary because predictive programming requires that the rules of the game be revealed in order for the controllers to remain in honor. But what I've experienced with the implied charge against me for speaking in public without having previously declared my claim of right to remain in my private capacity with all common law, unwritten and unlimited rights reserved at all times as a woman, is that rules can and will be applied to us until we say no more, and hold the professionals accountable as men and women causing harm to fellow men and women. What the legal professionals haven't wanted us to know is that we can correct any mistakes by lawful notice once we're aware of the true rules of the game and how we've been converted into something less than we truly are, so long as we cause no harm and keep the peace. Fraud, such as the professionals are upholding, is a threat to the well-being of all life and must now be called out and corrected by each of us. There is great power in numbers when our emotions are in check, and we can create instead of react. Right before that I had shared, a mixed war is one which is made on one side by public authority and on the other by mere private persons, citizens, slaves, owned by the state. The alternative is to be natives and originals, which means standing as men and women, as was intended. And then I talk about getting locked up in 2019 for reporting the truth to the authority figures I thought were supposed to protect and defend the public from criminals I had come to see were no different from the criminal rings I was trained to believe they fought against. I soon learned the biggest difference lays in the legalities and jurisdictions where everything is relative. Jurisdiction determines who gets to apply their rules to the games. Jurisdiction determines who gets to apply their rules to the players of the game. So until we claim the right to be lawfully, not legally, self-governing, we are subject to the implied laws of the implied governmental bodies we must pay mind to, and every election we vote in gives them authority over us who agree to be represented by one who can speak for those under their riding. The men who agreed I needed a psychological evaluation that day were protecting and defending the corporation they pledged an oath of allegiance to. I didn't believe I was causing anyone harm, but I was telling an inconvenient truth that was dangerous to me and my family. But it took me until now to see their hands were tied while the lies still ruled the roost. I hadn't even considered the Mental Health Act to be a threat back then, but given all I went through with a sound mind and pure heart, though tainted by fear and lower-level emotions that put me on the defensive, I got to see a manhole hidden directly in front of all who see the open secret the system and its legions are committed to defending. After experiencing how the professionals turn the tribe against the individual to isolate and influence its prisoners firsthand, I had a lot of resentment, resistance, and regret to get over in the years since that turning point call that I'm glad I made when I did, for all it revealed and forced me to heal before the insanity went public. Were it not for that experience, I would have been far more trusting of the professionals than I am now. Than I now am. I would have been far more trusting of the professionals than I now am, or even joined their leagues as my training had all prepared me to do. That's up to page 162. And as you know, I do love to rhyme, so I'll say it's time to let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. My voice is not overly strong now, but it will strengthen up throughout the day, and yours will too. Just treat your body well. It is the vessel you are moving through life, and so do your part to kickstart the energy system of you, and know about the nervous system too. I say to you, oh, I do wish you well, and thank you very much for sticking around till now, even though I said more than a few times it was time to go. But you got another song. What'd you think? Did you sing along? I hope you will. If you've got a favorite part, put it in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you if you'd leave a comment down below so we can have a conversation. You can also join on Telegram. Peaceful Inner Warriors United Assembly. We'd love to have you in the mix, it's true. Thanks, Laura J. Namaste, namago for today, baby.